Hey guys, we are back again today for another episode of Starting in the 70s. This will be the final episode in our series going over all the agent classes. So, for all our patient sentinel mains out there, let's get right into it. Our first tip here is going to be a tip for Cipher and KJ, and it's going to be to mix up your setups when you're on defense. Now this is a super important tip that'll make your sentinels way more valuable instantly. When you look at what characters in this game are going to give you a big advantage on CT side, you're generally going to look at sentinels, and specifically Cipher and KJ for their ability to hold sites. The thing is, there is a stipulation on this. You have to be able to be creative with your setups, and you need to mix them up from time to time. If you're running the exact same turret here, alarm bot there, molly there setup, like my good old friend B-Site Ascent, then opponents are just going to quickly adapt and learn how to counter that setup in the same game. But if you can keep your setups unique, it'll make sure that your opponents stay on their toes, and they can't afford the time to try and counter your setup that you used a couple rounds ago, because it'll be all new. This tip is going to immediately solve any issues of enemies, running up and pre-firing your Cipher trips, or just running up and killing your turret immediately and making it wasted. Just try it out for yourself, and just watch how effectively you can hold sites. It'll be a big difference. I also wanted to give a little mini tip for Cipher, just because I noticed that a lot of Ciphers on offense seem to struggle with using their cages. So, a pretty simple tip that might help with this issue is to try and use them to help your team entry a site. It's going to be a lot like how a Jet can use her smokes when clearing 50-50 angles, where she'll smoke one side and then look at the other, and when she knows that's clear, she'll clear the site that she smoked once the smoke goes down. It's essentially the same idea with Cipher. Think of B site on Breeze, a pretty common map for Cipher to be played. If you're entering onto B site, you're always going to have to deal with a 50-50 coming right out of the doorway. One person is going to have to clear danger on the right, and the other person's going to clear the left, which I always call front fort. You can use the cages to close off one angle and run to the other one when you're entering in. The only problem is that you have to make sure you tell your teammates that there still could be someone by the cage, and so they're going to have to clear it later on. But it will help you getting onto sites much more consistently. Sages of the world. It would probably be pretty easy for me to sit here and say, be mindful of your teammates fighting so you can use your heal on them. Or, use your wall more. But that's a lot of, weak ones of Sage. What I see go wrong with a lot of Sages in these lower level games is that people don't understand just how insane the slow orbs really are. When you chuck a slow orb into a choke point, that is basically a 7-second molly that you've thrown. The slow orbs make walking so slow that if you are holding the doorway where an orb is and someone tries to walk through it anyway, it should be the easiest kill you've ever gotten. Make sure that when you're playing Sage, you can find parts of the map where you can put your slow orbs and it'll make the enemy team angry. And take advantage of that. Think of spots that are like B main on Ascent, Showers and Hookah on Bind, or Garage on Haven. Stuff like that with very small choke points and only one way of entry, you can completely erase from the game for up to 14 seconds. The anger that you create will be your advantage. Finally, for Chambers, use your TP more than once. As Chamber, you are the best character in the game. Or at least you were, and now you're just a very, very good character. And what makes you that strong as a character is your TPs. The difference between a great chamber and you, the average chamber player, is two things: aim and the value you get out of your TPs. Now, obviously, aim is pretty volatile, and it's something you can work on until the end of time, so we're not really going to worry about that. What we can work on is using your TPs more often. Something I see a lot from chamber players is a problem where they do a pretty good job of putting down TPs at the start of a round, and then fighting a quick fight and using your TPs. But then, if they have to rotate or just move back and recall their TPs, they just forget. They don't look at the TP timer, and they don't use the TPs again the entire round. If you're someone who plays chamber a lot, work on either feeling out when enough time has passed that your TPs are back, or just work on making yourself look down and check the timer more often. This way, you can get tons more value out of your TPs, and you're just one step closer to playing like the pros. Alright guys, that's about all I got for you today. I hope this was worth the wait for all you Sentinel mains out there. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more ciphers and more unique playstyles from chambers with these upcoming balance changes. If you liked the video, subscribe and check out some of the other stuff on my channel, or hit the bell and stay tuned for what's next. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.